In order to pass my class, Cultural Marxism 101, here is your first assignment. You must write the words,
God is dead,
on a piece of paper, sign it, and hand it back into me.
Professor, I don't care if you fail me or not. That goes against my relationship with Christ, and I refuse.
Ha! Don't tell me some Christian signed up for this class. By the time the liberal arts programming is complete, you won't even remember your precious Jesus any longer.
Professor? Respectfully, that's impossible. In fact, if you give me the chance, I challenge you to a debate.
A debate? Ha! The absolute impertinence of you, a mere college freshman, to think that you could...
Bro, oh my God, bro, I'm so sorry.
Dude, what did you do? How did you just drive a car into the classroom?
Bro, honestly, I was reading the Bible while driving, and I guess I got a little distracted.
Oh, wow, you're a Christian?
Hell yeah, man.
Someone help me.
Is he all right?
He's still breathing.
Should we, call 911?
Absolutely not. It's too late.
Oh, please, call 911.
Nope, you're dead. Let me do this.
Oh.
Bro, I don't know.
Professor, you have an important choice to make right now. Where are you going to spend eternity?
I don't know.
All you have to do is say these words. I will subscribe to patreon.com/boysbiblestudy.
I will... What?
Bro, honestly, for $5 per month, you do get access to the entire back catalog of bonus episodes, and they make at least 2 new episodes every month, and they're honestly pretty funny.
And what's heaven without content?
Okay, fine. I promise to subscribe to patreon.com/boysbiblestudy.
Yes!
Bro, yes.
To dance and hang out, Dad. And now, all of this.
Hey, welcome back to Boys Bible Study. We're back at it again. It's your favorite boys. As always, I'm Ash. I'm here with my co-hosts,
Scott
and Julian.
And today, our special guest in the Sunday school classroom, pop singer-songwriter and host of the podcast Nymphowars. We got Macy Rodman. Hey, Macy.
Hi.
Hey, thanks so much for coming. How are you doing today?
I am feeling blessed and highly favored.
Honestly, after we do an episode of this, we have a glow that lasts for a couple days,
Your aura is incredible.
I feel it already.
I'd love to hear that. Do you have a Christian background?
I do. We were talking about this earlier. Me and my sister went to a Christian private school briefly. Well, I guess not so briefly, the whole, for our whole elementary school. And it was a really weird, what, I guess it was Baptist. But they had a local access, televangelist program that they shot out of the school, and the school was just a couple of trailers that were set up on a lot. Super weird, but yeah, I've had a lot of Christian exposure over the years.
Where was this?
Juneau, Alaska.
This is in Alaska. Okay, yeah, I remember hearing that you grew up in Alaska. So there were televangelists being broadcasted out of this series of trailers in Juneau, Alaska.
Yeah, the leader of the church was a super rich guy who lived on the hill, Blueberry Hill, where all the rich people lived in town, and he was just very creepy rich pastor guy, Jim Baker kind of vibe.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah.
did you really internalize the Christian messages growing up? Was it like a part of your psyche, or was it something that you just kind of like ignored as something you had to do?
Well, it was weird because our parents didn't really like buy into it too much, but they wanted us to. So it was like the kind of church where you like would speak in tongues and like cry and scream and whatever. So we would always try to do that when we were in church, but it just like didn't really like connect because it wasn't like a 24/7 kind of vibe. So yeah, once we got out of that environment, it was kind of like over, but
Totally. Because yeah, I mean, I'm always wondering, did you have to go through like a deprogramming state? A lot of people either we talk to or just who have Christian backgrounds, it's like it seems like it's half and half. It's like there's the people who were never that into it, or the people who sort of had to like self deprogram after a while.
I think I was pretty ready to jump ship by 8th grade.
Yeah, sure.
Once I got to high school, I was like, oh, drugs? This is cool. I don't know about Jesus.
Did you have to watch Christian media growing up? And if so, were there any particularly memorable pieces?
I did. We had to read the Left Behind books and watch the movies. The Kirk Cameron ones. I was informed before we started filming that there's a new series with Nicolas Cage.
Oh yeah,
but I haven't seen that one. But our science class, quote unquote, was a lot of like Christian like Discovery Channel style programs that were like
Why the dinosaurs don't exist.
yeah, stuff like that, or like how a scientist explains like how the Red Sea would have split, like what God would have used to like what wind patterns God probably used to like split the Red Sea.
oh yeah,
That's so sick.
Yeah,
That's very sick. Well, we're happy to have you bring some of that knowledge to us and watch it.
I'm happy to.
and confer with us as we showed you one of our new favorite pieces of Christian media. In our year-long journey, this podcast is just about a year old. At the very end of 2020, we were introduced to the work of Pastor Greg Robbins through a sort of pseudo-dramatized like documentary he did called Christmas Unwrapped, which is about basically how to have the best Christmas ever. I would say that's like the point of it. And today we're actually digging into one of his feature films, one of his like written, fictional like feature films. And this film is called See Me Dance. Scott and Julian, what's some introduction, like background about this film we should share?
It's Pastor Greg, baby. The
Pastor
Manic
Greg.
Santa.
The Manic Santa himself, Pastor Greg Robbins. We love him.
our guy, our new favorite guy.
Santanic Manic.
He portrays Santa in Christmas Unwrapped in one of the many skits in that, and we just are obsessed with his portrayal because he's just this like blubbering fool who's like he's like talking to a woman he's delivering gifts to, and she like has no lines. She's just staring at him, and he's blubbering like, "Teach the children not to put me at the center. I serve Jesus." He's a maniac.
He's a very passionate guy. I can see that being a good film.
Yes.
But that portrayal is the best portrayal of Santa ever, because you really, really feel how many houses he has hit and given the same speech, and he has to move on. There's no time to make sure that it sticks.
Right.
But it's just the burden of misguiding people from the truth from house to house throughout the world.
Yeah.
I really love the idea of a Christian movie about Christmas that feels obliged to include Santa Claus. Like, why not just make it all about Jesus?
Yeah, he's got a beautiful mind. Greg has really
Fair
got a
point.
beautiful mind.
It's really great. It's like ethically entangled Santa Claus.
Yeah.
He's like, I know that it's all about Jesus, but these people don't. And what am I going to do?
Right. Yeah, he really opened up a new dimension to that character. But he's quite the media tycoon. He's done a lot of things over the years. He has this sitcom called Pastor Greg that there's this like really astroturfed like Good Morning America segment where like Diane Sawyer does a report on Pastor Greg and his like sitcom.
It's a new Christian sitcom, and its producers say it's the only one in the world. So the question is it evangelizing? Is it just funny? And what is it like? Can comedy aimed at preaching the message of God really be funny?
It's really funny. We watched it for the Christmas Unwrapped episode, but she's like, it's clear like she's just reading off a teleprompter, and like they show clips from the show that she's praising, and the clips are just like insane. Like they're not good by anyone's standard of television.
After watching this movie, I think we know exactly how they got this piece in Good Morning America.
Right. That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. This film actually does have a major section about brainwashing TV executives to spread your message. So maybe that was what they took advantage of to get on GMA.
It's an intriguing piece of technology, or I guess communication skills.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to apply it to my own life.
Same.
Yeah.
So what the technique is, listeners, is our protagonist touches the hand of somebody, and then they immediately see a nail being driven into Jesus' hand, and then we'll immediately do anything she says after that.
Yeah. That motif is used throughout See Me Dance, and I think we should definitely get into the plot in general. But I'm just trying to think any other like notable cast or production or other things Pastor Greg has done that we should make sure we disseminate.
I can't wait to find out more about him after this.
Okay, well,
Interesting guy.
yeah, we will definitely Christ-splain some more about Pastor Greg's life to you as we talk
Because
about the movie.
he wrote and stars in this movie, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and directed.
Okay, great.
Triple threat. The Holy Trinity.
He's like a Cassavetes of the Christian world.
Totally.
Yeah.
He's basically Cassavetes. He also, interestingly, has 17 stunt credits.
Right. That's what I find to be the most compelling thing about him. I guess I wanted to say before we go in is that he seems to have had a past life as like a stunt person. I don't know like how acclaimed or accomplished he was in his field, but like he did stunts on like secular films. The person who portrays the devil is a man named Peter Kent, who was notably a stunt double for Arnold Schwarzenegger throughout his career. So it's like this led me to believe that maybe Greg Robbins has some clout in the stunt world, and that allowed him to make this connection. I don't know, pure speculation.
The Christian Jackie Chan.
It's action packed.
It is.
But he's not very mobile.
Well, he's older now.
Yeah, I wonder if he had like a career-ending injury, had to reconfigure.
Well, now that I'm looking at it, most of his stunt credits, like from 2001 on, he's actually stunt coordinating.
Oh,
I see.
okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
God led him to a different area.
Yeah, he asked God how he could best use his gifts to serve humanity. And then in 2009, he made an incredible film called See Me Dance.
Can we just clarify how that's spelled?
Yeah.
Yeah, very good points.
The letter C, formerly known as Grimes. It used to be called Grimes Me Dance.
Yeah. This movie's spelled with the letter C in See Me Dance, which I think gives it this like really playful character. They do say in the movie why it's called that. I'm sure we'll get into it. But for now, listener, please imagine in your head, See Me Dance.
Yeah, it's great to go into it not knowing why it's called that, because it's really just a mystery. It like adds to the mystery. The movie is like an unfolding kind of like what are those things? The mash where you like mansion where you like it's like an origami thing that you play and you like you do it with your hand. It's like you unfold all these layers to get to the puzzle of this movie. And I think the title really adds to it.
Yes, childlike fortune telling.
Yeah. Well, let's get into it. How should we start our description of See Me Dance? Not that we have to take people through beat by beat, but we should definitely cover the main point for anyone listening who does not feel like watching this film. Although I recommend you do if you get a chance.
I highly recommend it.
Yeah.
And you know what? You can watch it on parables.tv for free.
Oh, that's good to know.
Wow.
Yeah, new Christian streaming service we've discovered, parables.tv. You will be able to watch See Me Dance on there, so check it out.
So what's the elevator pitch for this movie?
Actually, that's a good idea. Maybe let's go around and give like our first impressions and like elevator pitches of the movie. I'd love to start and say that like overall, this film is about, a beautiful, innocent high school girl who, through a really tragic twist of fate, comes down terminally with leukemia. But this, changes her life, and through supernatural means, brings her to doing work through God. And I guess in general, to like describe how I felt about the movie, I was really excited that this movie, like, I don't know, very often we watch stuff and it just kind of like drags. There will be just like half hours of that go really slowly, but not this film. Like, this film was just as entertaining as it was inspirational. Like, every scene, there's something that happens that, keeps you going. So I really appreciated it. Macy, what was your, like, before we get into specifics, what was your like overall impression of this movie?
So it's like this incredible journey of this girl who starts as like a promising athlete, like a dancer, and then kind of goes, she like loses her faith temporarily and then like super gains it back and like becomes like very like got it up and like gets like, she gets powers actually.
Yeah.
And like really like makes the most out of like her relationship with God. And it's all about like kind of fine tuning her relationship with God, letting him work through her, being just like a vessel, and like finding her purpose, which like once she does, I mean, not to spoiler alert, but she she doesn't have anything else to do.
Right.
As soon as she lives up to her potential.
Does she get struck by lightning at any point or anything? Like, or do the visions of like being able to read people's minds just comes out of nowhere?
Yep.
Nowhere.
Okay, cool.
Absolutely nowhere. Just like the truck at the beginning that killed her mother.
Oh, it's a lot of vehicle play. A lot of like big events happen like with vehicles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that might be symbolic of how the characters in the movie are kind of vehicles for God's word.
Oh, I'm glad you brought that up, because there's so many car accidents in Christian movies, and maybe that's what they're all trying to say, like being a vehicle for God's work, or is it a vehicle for, Satan?
Julian, what was your overall impression of the movie before we go over the plot?
So, I mean, I hopped on right when she started to read her dad's mind. So for me, it was like the Christian, what women want.
Yeah, that's a pretty good elevator pitch. What Christians want. Yeah,
it's like WW84 meets The Brain, meets What Women Want, meets What Men Want, meets Day of the Beast.
Oh yeah, actually, you in the notes, Scott, wrote down that there was a WW84 point of comparison. What did you mean by that?
Okay, so real quick about WW84, if you haven't seen it yet, it's surprisingly wacky for how not fun of a movie it is. But anyway, there's the main bad guy in that movie is trying to get to a point where he can connect to as many folks as possible so he can basically brainwash them.
Yeah.
And that's also the premise of this movie.
Oh, you're right.
And his intents are evil, of course. He just wants like universal domination. And of course, in this case, Sheri just wants to save everybody from eternal damnation. So much purer motives.
Right.
Yeah, we will see how our protagonist Sheri unfolds in God's grace and becomes like a lightning rod for mass media, mind control through God's light. But starting from the very beginning of this movie, one thing I found so remarkable is how we just went right into the tropes that pepper all of the Christian media we love so much. This movie begins right with a car crash. What happens in that car crash scene?
A mother who we know is a mother because we see a shrieking 1-year-old in the back seat is frantically trying to drive away from this semi truck that is clearly just trying to run her down.
Yeah.
And that is the first of multiple false foreshadows where you think that this is going to come up again. Because what I was thinking the whole time is that we're going to find out later that it was like the devil at the wheel or like one of his minions or something. But no, it only comes up again where Greg Robbins is like looking back on it. He was like, yeah, it was a pretty weird accident. And then like, that's it.
The truck was giving devil. It was like, it was demonic truck. It was like the way that they shot it and everything. Yeah.
It had that face of the hobgoblin like in Maximum Overdrive.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
But I was confused, and I agree with you, Scott. It did look like the truck was deliberately trying to run them down, right?
Yeah.
Like it had to have been indicated that through the filming, but later on in the movie, you're right, that never comes up. They talk about how there was a truck accident, that a truck went out of control and killed who we later find out to be Sheri's mom when Sheri was only a baby, and literally in the back seat of this car that gets slammed into head on by a truck, flips over, is like on fire. The ADR has all these explosion sounds, and we're led to believe there's like a baby trapped in the car seat back there, and that baby totally just like survives unscathed, but her mom passes away.
Very sad. And then 2 minutes later, the baby is now a teenager.
Yeah.
And she's a dancer. And she's giving her friend advice about her very swollen, gross looking ankle to like stay off it for the weekend. But there's kind of like a vibe of like, yeah, I'm kind of going to do what I want though. So that was like another thing where I was like, oh, this is another foreshadow. She's going to help her friend out. Her friend's going to do something dumb. Her ankle's going to get worse. And then Sheri's going to have like some kind of decision where she has to like do the right thing or be more focused on her dancing. But no, it never comes up again.
No. Yeah, absolutely not.
It's really not even worth mentioning other than it's bothering me.
Yeah, you're right, Scott. The movie is full of these like false starts, but then something happens that very clearly sets up the arc of what's to come in the film, which is that there's one day she's dancing and she's like tired, right?
I looked up the symptoms for leukemia during this part.
Okay.
And one of them is fatigue.
Okay.
So
checks out.
So she's dancing and she becomes tired, and this leads her to go to the doctor. The doctor says many times that they've run some tests. Oh, we will order tests and then we will rush some more tests. And they discover that she has terminal leukemia. Not just, leukemia. They're like, oh, we can get some treatments. And the doctor's like, no, like treatment will not help.
Actually, no.
Yeah. No.
I've gone over Sheri's test results, and I'm sorry, but Sheri has leukemia.
Dad.
No, it's okay. Look. All right, let's get started on treatment right now.
Unfortunately, she's in the advanced stages, and treatment's not going to help.
And so, yeah, it's just so funny that we get like what seems to be an intentional truck murder, and then we get this injured friend. But no, the story is actually about this young girl who has terminal leukemia.
The twofer, the Christian movie trauma twofer.
Yes.
Car accident
Yes.
and the terminal illness back to back.
Yes.
And within the first like 5 minutes.
There's also a lot when she's in the doctor's office. There's a lot of like misleading talk that it seems like they just like had in the script and then like didn't want to rewrite it because they're like, okay, I'm going to run some tests. okay, the test won't come until Monday. Wait, actually, they're here now. Maybe you can't dance for a month. Well, you can dance lightly, actually. Like, it was just like a lot of that. But they find out that they definitely cannot do anything about the leukemia.
Yeah, that we know for sure. So yeah, more questions than answers, but we do have a couple answers. And one, that young 16-year-old Sheri is definitely a goner. It's just a matter of when. She goes through a couple levels of acceptance with this. At first she's really angry, as one naturally could be.
Yeah. I wish that part was longer. Like, it would have been fun just to see her just be like, I just love in movies when somebody has like no reason to give any more fucks.
Yeah.
Because it's a movie and you can do anything at that point.
Yeah, it would have been great if it like took her a while to accept her gift,
Yeah.
Because then it would have really been undeniable. But she just like really leans into it first sign.
Yeah, the movie didn't feel like it had time for that. Like, they didn't feel like they could go through that whole arc. They just wanted to slam right into how God ends up blessing this like seemingly cursed life of Sheri.
Yeah, what was that line from the pastor in this movie? Where, every single day God's creation is going to hell and it's really starting to piss me off. That's what he says.
Yes.
Every single day, God's creation is going to hell and it's really starting to piss me off.
That's probably why they couldn't spend too much time with her fucking around. Because
yes.
God's creation's going to hell in a handbasket.
And it's really starting to piss that pastor off.
Yeah.
So, she goes through several phases of acceptance, but then something happens that leads it to be undeniable that God is blessing her in a supernatural way. What is that pivotal moment?
She's in the car with her dad, and she thinks in her mind, like, what does she say? Like, everything's hopeless.
Well, I think she says, like, what's my dad going to do without me?
Oh, yeah. And he's like, I'll be fine, sweetie. And she's like, but wait, I didn't say anything. And he's like, what? And she's like, you just said something. And he's like, no, I didn't. And she's like, yeah, but I didn't say what I said. And you did say what you said. And he's like, I don't remember saying anything.
What's my dad gonna do without me?
I'll be fine.
What?
What?
Dad, you just said you'd be fine. Okay, listen to me, Dad. I am not losing my mind. I was just sitting here thinking to myself, what's going to happen to you when I'm gone? And you said you'd be fine.
Whichever way it ended up happening, she read his mind.
Yeah, we see the psychic abilities. The Christian psychic abilities. And then shortly after that, we start to see the interactions between her and like the school bully and the white lady with the dreadlocks.
Right.
The resident Earth Warrior at the high school.
Right.
Can we describe the physical? Can we give a physical description of the bully?
Absolutely. He is old enough to be her father. And he is in the same grade as her. He has a 5 o'clock shadow.
Receding hairline. Hot belly.
Like tobacco stains on his teeth.
He looks kind of like a 1 or 2 episode Jersey Shore character who's like somebody's cousin or like ex who just like shows up for a couple episodes.
Very that.
Yeah, he has an ankle monitor.
Yeah, he looks like someone that would be contestant on Bar Rescue.
Yeah.
Like someone that's getting their bar rescued.
Yeah, and he's with this woman who, seems like she could be in bands such as, for instance, Hannah's Field, or Omnia, who sang my favorite weird like Swedish White Rasta anthem, Earth Warrior.
They're Swedish?
There's some like Scandinavian country. They are definitely not American, but
something fucked up.
I love them so much. They're huge problematic faves. But yeah, it's just a very weird combo. And yeah, we see Sheri act on these, these lowlifes in a very supernatural fashion. It's not just communicating telepathically with her father, you know?
Yeah, staring at her. But like, if she makes eye contact with you, then you're under her control or something.
Yeah, it seems like at first it's just whenever she can touch somebody, but later into the movie, I guess we don't really know what it is, but maybe it is eye contact. It's hard to say because it's like multiple people have experiences, but I don't know. It's kind of confusing.
I think it's kind of like she takes whatever entry point she can, because she's like, I need to like talk to my friend who hates me now and lead her to God or whatever. But I think she just finds a different way for every person.
I was gonna say the huge moment I thought was when the bully pulls or chases her down and then like
tries to kill her,
gives her a noogie. Yeah, something weird.
Right. Yeah.
Like just starts shoving her face into the dirt while everyone is screaming for him to stop. And then her dad comes to rescue her, somehow knowing exactly where she is. I mean, she has psychic powers.
Wait, what was his problem with her?
I'm truly unclear.
The guys?
I don't think we ever found out.
Yeah, it was kind of, I thought they were going to hint that he was being possessed by the devil, who I don't know if he was introduced at this point. But then when they have the whole like sit down with all the 5 families of this small Pittsburgh suburb, where they all say that they're ready to be saved by the daughter. And if this doesn't make any sense to you, I swear this is exactly how it goes down. They just all show up one day and decide to be saved after their son tries to assault a woman in broad daylight. Yeah, you think he's being possessed by the devil, but she just says like, "Oh, he's a good kid. You can't judge him by his actions.
He's a good boy. It's just been on a bad path until now. I'll let him tell you."
I am sorry I hurt you. Sheri, when you looked at me, I saw God.
Yeah, very.
Yeah, his mom. His mom who's like
is also
roughly his same age.
His mom is 12 years younger than him.
Yeah. Oh, and then like another important thing to note is that immediately after this, not even attempted assault, it's just a straight up assault.
Yes.
Which is stopped by the dad and the daughter holding, like both putting their hands on the bully, and he says he's ready to be saved.
Yeah, he says, "Save me."
Right after that, they get into the car, and it suddenly turns into like a Sonic fast food commercial. And it's just the two of them sitting there saying, "Wow, okay, that was weird."
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, huh?
Yeah.
So God wants me to...
Yeah.
It's like a buddy comedy all of a sudden.
A buddy comedy, like in that millennial sense, where they're like, well, that happened. But it was like 2009, so they actually like predicted that type of humor. They were like 10 years ahead of their time. A really remarkable scene in a film where just like, many different moods and ideas just sort of like come in sequence of each other with very little like meaning. But, so she has a supernatural hand that she's able to enact on other people in her town. I also wanted to make sure we mention she develops some sort of mind link with her father. And I think this is important to mention, not just because of that, but also because it sort of reveals how Greg Robbins, the auteur who wrote, directed, and co-starred in this movie as Sheri's father. I wanted to bring this up and talk about Greg's style for a sec, because like, what I think is so funny about this movie is Sheri is ostensibly the protagonist. The movie's about her and her trials. But like Greg wrote the movie and he can't help but have himself also be the star. So he ends up like second billing himself like alongside a protagonist alongside his daughter in the film. So they develop this mind link and they sort of do things together, like when they both jump in the lake and like save a woman from drowning together.
Yeah. Oh, that's where we get to see his stuntman past. His dive is pretty incredible form for like what you'd expect from the guy who plays the nervous breakdown Santa Claus.
Yeah, the man can dive into a lake. Like, make no mistake about it. What's some other like mind link? What's some other weird like stuff her dad does with her?
So there's like, it goes so quickly from like her losing her faith to them saving the guy. There's a part where her dad is praying in bed and is talking to God and goes, man, you tell me what to do. Come on, man. Why don't you give me a sign here?
Yeah.
Man, please show mercy on her.
And they're like, then they like try to establish the rules of like what they think God is like up to. I think it's like right after they meet with the family, they're like, so God told us this and did this. So like, I guess that means that he wants me to like go get my other friend and save her.
Right.
And he's like, yeah, I think that's what it means. And, I don't think that we remember what we said to anyone because God doesn't want us to remember because he needs all the glory.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
What did you say to her?
I've been thinking about it all night, and I can't remember.
You know, that's funny. I can't remember what you said to Jacob either. Can you?
Not one word.
Huh. Maybe you're not supposed to.
What?
Yeah, maybe you're not supposed to. That way you don't take the credit for it.
I get it. So the glory is his and not mine.
Yeah.
It's like it's like in a sci-fi or horror movie where you need to establish like the rules of the phenomena to like suspend your disbelief, It's like they try to do that at an early point in the movie.
Yeah, it's funny the amount of like world building they feel like they have to do even when the film is already in motion with like so many tendrils of like action and idea for them to pursue. Like the part that you brought up, which I'm so glad you did, about how like they're like, I actually don't remember anything I just said. And they're like, oh, I guess that must be God's way of being like, oh, all the glory goes to me instead. And they're like, yeah, that must be it.
Yeah, because we can't remember the like amazing, poetic, life-saving phrases we uttered.
Right. Very strange.
Yeah. Maybe Pastor Greg Robbins who also wrote this movie, of course. He was trying to write really good stuff and he just couldn't, so he came up with that workaround.
Yeah.
It's kind of like in Moulin Rouge, where they in lieu of like the world's greatest love song, they just use like already existing love songs.
Yes.
It's like in lieu of like God's like beautiful new verses, they just like have this like hammering state going through it.
Yeah. It's like trying to describe a acid trip to somebody or something. Like you can describe the visuals, but you're not gonna get the like actual emotional feeling.
Right. If you weren't there, forget it.
You try to explain that the Lord is working through you because your chandelier, your lighting fixture above your dinner table started glowing really bright.
Yeah. So yeah, they do actually see some supernatural apparitions. Yeah, the chandelier at their dinner table starts glowing for some reason. And we would be remiss to not mention that they actually meet the devil. Okay.
Yeah.
This is some real shit, because one of the best quotes in the whole movie, which is also in the trailer, but one of the best quotes in the whole movie is when Pastor Greg says, "Looks like God's chosen you to do something." And you know what that means? It means the devil's going to be pretty pissed off.
I know this sounds weird, Sheri, but it's as if God has chosen you. And if that's the truth, man, this is going to tick off the devil.
And when that motherfucker shows up and you hear him say, "Na'au
you know he's pissed. You don't have God's permission to be here.
Nauma ashtatea.
Does that happen right after he says the devil's gonna be pretty pissed? He like shows up. He like bursts out of the closet.
Yeah.
You rang.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he's in like David Boreanaz from Buffy drag with like a blocked out brow and like some colored contact.
Yeah.
What we should talk about is the devil being played by Peter Kent, who's a very legit stunt actor.
Yes.
Who was Arnold Schwarzenegger's stunt double for years through many of his best movies.
What era? Like what movies was he stunt double in?
I'll read them off. Your minds will be blown. The Terminator was the first one. Commando, Raw Deal, Predator, The Running Man, Red Heat, Twins, Total Recall, Kindergarten Cop, Terminator 2, Last Action Hero, True Lies, Eraser,
Jesus
as you
Christ.
said, Jingle All the Way.
Primetime Arnold.
Yes.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yes.
So this guy must be a pretty talented stunt guy if he's been with Arnold this whole time, you know?
Yeah.
But here he is in See Me Dance. And this is what made me wonder if Greg knew him from the industry or something like that. Because, you know, why he would just come out and be the, you know, show his face in this very bizarre ballet dancer for God movie.
Well, Greg did play a hotel customer in The Terminator. So they could have met on that.
It's very possible. Yeah, they may have met during the
Really?
filmmaker. Yeah, it does say on IMDb that Greg, in a rare secular moment, actually has a bit part in Terminator.
What a role.
Yeah.
What a foray into secular film.
I know.
Oh, seriously, amazing. But he was also in Reanimator, which also
incredible.
our stunt guy Kent was as well. But actually, as an actor, he had a role.
Oh, okay.
Melvin the Reanimated.
Oh, wow.
Reanimator seems more Greg's speed.
That's a good point. I would love to see his Christian version of Reanimator. That's would be awesome.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
Jesus. They bring Jesus back.
It's literally Jesus.
Oh my god.
Also, Lazarus. Let's not forget when Jesus reanimated Lazarus in the
Maybe
Bible.
it's like Jesus versus Lazarus. And Lazarus is like the guy who got his head cut off in the Reanimator.
Yeah. So, you know, the devil's influencing, Sheri's actions in many ways. You know, we could go into all of them because they're so memorable, but, you know, let's just say he ends up possessing some people in her personal life to trick her and scare her. But I think we should really talk about what Pastor Greg and Sheri and
Pastor Jeff,
yeah. So
The guy who's pissed off?
Yes, the pastor who's
Okay.
pissed off at the cheapening of God's creation. Yeah, so after Sheri and Jeff and Greg discover this incredible power that Sheri has, let's talk about what she does to bring it to the world that makes the devil so mad.
She wants to go on TV.
Yes. She's a Christian for our time. She's a mass media Christian.
She's entering the devil's kingdom.
This is where the Wonder Woman analogy kind of comes into play. Is
Right.
where she tries to broadcast her message. Why is it so urgent? Is it just because it's getting really bad out there?
Yeah, it seemed just
Yeah.
because of Pastor Jeff's line, which I'm just going to read it one more time.
Every single day, God's creation is going to hell, and it's really starting to piss me off.
Go off.
Did we mention that it's the same guy from 7th Street Theater?
I'm not sure if we mentioned that in our recording yet, but yes, listeners who hear our bonus episodes, we were really into this one character from Christian TV show 7th Street Theater who goes by the name Gates. Gates' gimmick is that he talks with a Jamaican accent and pretends to be a cab driver in New York City. That's like his big thing in the show. And we actually see this man, his name's Hugh McLean, and he portrays Pastor Jeff in this film. So, you know, always nice to see a cast member who, you know, a more obscure Christian cast member, but beloved to us here at Boys Bible Study.
I would say he gives the most natural performance of the movie.
Yeah, he feels right at home, I think.
I really liked him. So is this At this point, are they sleeping in the church?
Yeah, I think so.
Right. Yes. Yes. They start after that, after they have that combo. Right.
Putting their feet up on their pillows, their shoes on.
Oh, why did he do that?
They're setting up sleeping bags and pillows to sleep in the church because they can't sleep at home because I guess the devil will get them there.
Yeah.
And,
yeah.
He immediately just plops his foot right on the pillow. The dad.
Yeah. A very strange man, a very disturbed man. I would say this movie in general is about a man and his daughter descending into depths of unwellness and shared delusion.
Yeah, it's like Take Shelter.
I wonder if the subtext is a kind of like, I know she has leukemia and not a brain tumor, but I wonder if it's like a kind of Ally McBeal situation where it's like all of these like strange things are explained by like her being, it's like the flare-ups of the mind towards like the end of her life.
Yeah. It's the DMT being released.
Oh.
Right.
Yeah, it's the DMT trip.
Yeah.
It actually took the entirety of the movie in real time took place in like 5 seconds, but like we're seeing it play out. But then they go to they decide that they need to go to TV, and then they go to the TV executive's office. Right? That's next.
Absolutely. I guess the only thing I wanted to add is that, it just seems that Sheri's powers, like, it's not even just that she can mission to people or convince them in some way to like be a part of, the kingdom of God. She has like supernatural powers, as we've talked about. And she reminded me, I brought him up while we were watching, but I want to say for the recording that she reminded me of this guy Braco, Braco, who I'm fascinated with. He's this like, I don't know what countries he's from, some Eastern European country. And he just like, he stands at the front of like auditoriums and just gazes at people. His thing is he has this very powerful face and gaze. He doesn't say anything. And people just like fill like theaters and just cry. Like he just looks at like crowds of people and they're just weeping. And like they bring like pictures of their loved ones and like hold them up so he can like look at them too. And like, I feel like that's what Sheri is in this movie. Like they want to get all the TV cameras on her so she can like look at America.
Yeah, wait, I think we skipped over the part where there's the guy in the church. They decide that she needs to do a sermon at church. And there's a guy in the pews that is like, a fucking teenager is gonna come on. What do I need to hear from a teenager that I haven't heard before?
Yeah.
He's like shit talking her to his wife.
Yeah, just out of nowhere, just like a new character in the film, just shit talking her.
And then right before she goes up, her doctor/new mom says something about like, as your doctor, you need to do this, but as your friend, go get him, or whatever the fuck she says.
Sheri, as your doctor, I want you to be careful. But as your friend, I think this is so cool.
Yeah, the doctor lady is wild. Really inappropriate relationship with Sheri.
Yeah.
She's like, as your doctor, I need to tell you that you probably shouldn't move at all. But as your friend, break a leg out there, girlfriend. And as your doctor, I need to remind you that you will die in 3 days. But as a friend, let's go play Scrabble after this.
Yeah, also like the twisted relationship that, she's dating Sheri's dad, but this is also the same doctor who told her that she has leukemia and is going to die. So I don't know. It's like if you're the first interaction you had with your like new mommy was that she told you were going to die. I don't know. It just seems a little dysfunctional to me. Very strange.
There's a part where Sheri is trying to be like, I think she's trying to like use her powers to like get to the root of the like why her doctor and her dad are not having like the best time romantically. And she's like, come on, girl, like, just tell me, like, like, what? Just why aren't you just going for it with my dad? And the doctor's like, I don't know. Like, I just like, there's something in my heart. Like, I don't know. It's just like a really weird moment where it's like she's emboldened by her like psychic abilities, and she like thinks she's gonna be able to cut through to this lady, but it doesn't really work.
Love her.
Yeah, she just wants them to have a good, healthy sex life. That's all.
Yeah.
So straight after that, after she gets her little pep talk as your doctor, as your friend thing, that guy who's like, well, you think of what teen's going to teach me anything? She then does her best bracho. Is that his name?
Yeah, bracho.
She does her best bracho. Doesn't say anything, but has like a very direct line to the teen hater, and the guy just immediately wanders up to the front as if he has dementia and starts crying.
Yeah.
Like kind of that style. Yeah. And then he looks up and there's like a cross that's glowing in like the ceiling somewhere.
But yeah, we need to take this power to the masses, like if she can just look at some random person and all of a sudden he's like crying and begging to be saved, then why not get a bigger audience through the power of mass media? It's even reported in the movie, and maybe my favorite part of the whole movie, that just by her basically being in the world and having an impact, all these things are happening in the town. They're like rapes and murders are down by 89%. And they're like, the owner of the largest porno store in town has decided to give it all up because he says that pornography is immoral.
Jeff, Sheri, I found another one. Look, it says in the last 2 weeks, murders and rapes have gone down 89%. It's the biggest decrease in 50 years.
And look at this. The county register says that the owner of a large chain of adult bookstores is closing the doors to all of his stores. When asked why, the multimillionaire entrepreneur replied, pornography is a vile sin, and he's putting his money into helping the family of those that's been tortured by pornography.
Well, in Variety, it says the next big 3 movies scheduled for release have been shelved by the studio executives. It reports that they say that they may harm family values and they're never going to release them.
I just heard on the radio, that kid that was kidnapped last week?
Yeah.
The guy just let him go. Just let him go.
This is great.
Yeah, and it's like all front page news. It's like abortions are now illegal. Yeah. Everyone who's ever stolen anything has brought it back to the store.
Yeah.
Everyone's just burning their Chuck Palahniuk books.
Yeah.
Kids are throwing away Pokemon cards.
Insurance companies admitted universal health care is a much better idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, but how is she going to get, in town is one thing, but like, how's she going to reach the nation? Like, you can't just walk into the offices of ABC or NBC and just, get yourself on television. Or can you?
You can.
You go in with the bracho mindset,
Mm-hmm.
you can get anything you want. The art of the gaze.
And there's just this really brilliant moment where they walk in, they like get a meeting somehow with Les Moonves or whatever. And he's like, so let me get this straight. You want me to give you a time slot in Thursday night, biggest night on television, prime time. And the dad's like, that's right. And he's like, and you want me to donate this time. Do I get that right? And he's like, uh-huh. And he's like, and let me get this straight. It's all for free. And I'm probably going to have to set you up with all the cameras and stuff. That I was like, uh-huh. And then the girl, and then he's like, and why do you think I would do this? And then the girl puts a hand on Les Moonves' hand, and the cross thing happens, the nail through the hand happens, and then all of a sudden he's like, you know what? I am going to give you that slot. And in fact, I'm going to give you the crew, the sound stage, and I'm going to make sure that the ad runs on time.
Vince, this is insane. You want me to give you a 30-second time slot in all these shows on Thursday night?
Yeah.
Thursday night, prime time, the biggest viewing night of the week?
Yeah.
And you want me to donate them to you?
Yeah.
Yeah, that part's so funny because Sheri and her father are sitting on either side of the executive, like right up next to him, like basically on his shoulders, and they're both like smiling smugly. And it kind of reminded me in like Eyes Wide Shut, like the costume shop owner and his like underage daughter who like turn tricks together, and like, you know, he's like, if you need anything else, you know, it needn't be a costume, and like winking at his like underage daughter. But it's like the two of them. Yeah, he's like listen, Les, my innocent daughter is gonna lay hands on you, and you're gonna give us whatever we want. And they know it. They're so smug. Like the look on their faces is just like bursting with smugness. It's a really funny moment.
It's one of the few like really it like there are a few moments where it really veers off into like network sitcom territory, and it nails it so hard. It's so satisfying.
Yeah.
Hey, this is the same director of the only Christian sitcom.
That's true. That's true.
As he calls it.
Yeah, Pastor Greg, the only Christian sitcom, allegedly. It was profiled. He almost had that ABC moment. It got coverage on ABC.
A Christian sitcom. That might seem an oxymoron. But on Pastor Greg, they see the medium, comedy, as the best way to communicate the message.
But as far as we all know, it never made it to prime time. But maybe one day. But
well, actually, ever since that aired, rapes and murders have gone down 87%.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
But so, you know, they're able to use Sheri's wiles to get her face on all TVs in America, and, you know, maybe like heal everyone and like stop crime and do all these amazing things. You know, there are so many incredible. I mean, literally every moment in this film is, you know, pregnant with meaning. We really there's like, for all we've talked about, there's so much that we haven't. But I think we should talk about Sheri's eventual end, and you know, then we can get into some of our final thoughts, and you know, we'll be able to talk about anything that we missed. But what happens? What happens to our protagonist as the movie ends?
And this is where the movie, I think they might have cut out a lot of the movie here to save for time.
Yeah,
they get to the church and everyone's dialogue kind of stops making sense.
Mm-hmm. No, I think you're right. I think there has to be something to the effect of like a serious subplot was cut out of this, was just left on the cutting room floor, because there had
really
to have
strange.
been, because this whole movie was about like opening doorways to new like possibilities of plot, and then just like completely forgetting about them and moving on. And it like made for many delightful moments, but like it just wasn't very coherent, you know?
Like, this movie was supposed to be about a ballerina. It's called See Me Dance. There's one extended scene of like a ballet practice, but beyond that, it's a very, very small part of the movie, and it's like never used to convey the message, which it seems like would be the ideal way to like the ideal message to send with this kind of movie is like using your talents to spread God's word.
Right.
Did we miss the part where they say why the movie is called that?
We have not revealed that yet, no. So what is it?
Yeah, it's her license plate, because she says, I'm gonna go to dance practice or whatever. And the dad's like, just like your license plate says, see me dance. And she's like, yep, see me dance. And then it kind of fades away.
Yeah.
Yep, that's all
It's
it was.
such a strange movie.
Yeah.
The whole dance motif, also a false foreshadow. Really didn't mean anything.
Seems like you would, instead of being like, oh, she's such an incredible ballet dancer, it inspires people, and she tells people about the Lord through her dance. Instead, her exceptional gift is to just stare at people, like the complete opposite of dancing and movement. They emphasize the see in See Me Dance instead of the dance.
We don't even get to see the commercial that they made.
Right.
We do kind of see, she does give a speech. She doesn't just stare into the camera. She's like, the world might be full of injustice, awful hate and war, but we just got to get it together, guys. Like, it's kind of that kind of thing.
He's just like, everyone, come on, everyone. Come on.
People often ask, if there's a God, why do people starve to death? But I'm here to tell you, God doesn't let them starve. We do.
She didn't even dance.
Just dance.
See me dance.
Yeah. Let's talk about how our protagonist meets her untimely end.
It's Christmas morning, and her new mom walks into the living room, and she's dead on the floor. The end.
She was given permission to open one present on Christmas morning.
Daddy, can I open one present? Please, please, please.
Fine.
Thank you. Mwah. I love you, Daddy.
She's only allowed to open one gift, even though the title card directly says December 25th.
And he's kind of hesitant about that, too. He's like, all right, just one.
Yeah. And it would be the only gift she would open this Christmas. Greg finds her immobile under the tree. He holds her in his arms, blubbering like a seal. And
she next to the See Me Dance, the 3D printed license plate.
Why was that under the tree?
I think when they talked about the license plate, I think that is what she always wanted. And then she finally got it, and she got so excited she died. Which is so, like, the idea that, like, you would, like, your one thing that you want for Christmas is a vanity license plate that says "See Me Dance."
See me dance.
Wait, so when they were talking about it earlier, it was not actually a license plate that she had. It was just like, ha ha ha, we all know that this is what you want.
Right.
She doesn't drive. Remember, she has to get rides everywhere.
Yeah, right.
Oh my God.
That's so weird.
So she doesn't even have a car. She just wanted the license plate.
She should have asked for a vanity tombstone at that point. She knew it was coming.
So in a final dream sequence, we see Sheri dancing, probably in heaven, while her mom is watching her. A listener pointed out in a recent stream that this sort of looks like the "In Heaven Everything is Fine" scene from Eraserhead with the woman in the radiator. I'd say it gives similar vibes.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the untimely end of Sheri, the tragic hero of See Me Dance. I think a main theme about this movie that I wanted to talk about, I wanted to talk about the idea of, like, God working through people in, like, very visible supernatural ways, because it's actually kind of uncommon even for Christian cinema. I guess, like, the question I wanted to put to the floor is, like, did you think this movie was, like, blasphemous or heretical at all, or was it just sweet and weird?
You mean because they're, like, making up how, like, God and the devil work and, like, how powers and miracles work?
Yeah. What'd you think?
No, I trust Pastor Greg.
Yeah, okay.
He knows. That part really reminded me of I Believe, actually.
I was going to bring up
the magical child whose prayers actually work for once.
Yes. In the film I Believe, which we watched last year, there's a magical child also who believes so much in God that there's an army vet who has had his legs amputated, and the boy prays for him and the legs just grow back, like, just on screen. Like, he's, like, screaming. He's like, ah! And his, like, legs are just, like, regrowing. Like, there's, like, a special effect that we watch happen in real time. It's really cool. Wow. I don't know. I mean, I guess just, like, my, like, Christian perspective on this film is, like, it's funny because the whole film is supposed to be, like, about faith and, how one person's amazing faith, even in times of hardship, can, like, bring other people to Christ. But it's like, there wasn't even really any, like, faith in this movie, because, I mean, she's able to perform these miracles. I mean, you can't really, like, have faith in something that's obvious. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
I don't know.
How can you have faith and come to a decision on your own when somebody has a magical touch that forces it into your head immediately?
Right.
Yeah, she's not really what do you call that? Testimonying to people.
Yeah.
She's or testifying.
Right.
She's more brainwashing people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, true. Yeah, she's not witnessing. Yeah.
This all really speaks to this all speaks to the manic energy of Greg Robbins, as we saw in Christmas Unwrapped, which was like 7 different movies that he had put together in one. And I think when he was writing this, it seems like he kept forgetting what the movie was supposed to be about.
Yeah, satanic manic, as you called it earlier, Julian.
Satanic manic is so good. That's absolutely
Santa
when he was
manic.
Santa. But I also just like the phrase satanic manic as the genre of Greg Robbins' films. I think that's a great name for a new genre.
Do you think he's seen The Devil's Advocate?
Oh, that's a good question. Yeah,
Keanu Reeves.
Keanu Reeves is in The Devil's Advocate. Al Pacino plays the devil.
Yeah, he's a lawyer.
Yeah, and it's like it seemed a little like that to me, where it was like the devil is like appearing as different people, and like I mean, there wasn't like the devil was just like a very like small kind of part of this movie, but those parts seemed very Devil's Advocate-y to me.
Everything is a small part of this movie. It's real weird. Like everything you think would be huge is like not there.
Yeah.
Right.
All right, I got one last question before we review the movie. And can anybody explain to me what the plan was with the band and having to come up with an excuse to go out on stage and talk to everybody?
Yeah, but what do you want me to do? Go through the audience bringing people to the Lord?
Nope.
Well, then what?
On the stage.
How are we going to do that?
Look, this concert is a variety of city bands.
Yeah, it's a battle of the bands, and the winner gets a record dealer. Something like that, right?
Exactly. Now, most of the bands are secular, to say the least, but there is one that's a Christian rock group called the Aaron Greer Band.
I know those guys. I hear them on the radio all the time.
Wow, Dad. I didn't know you were so hip.
Thanks. But I'm still not following.
Okay, so I know a few of the band members. And we ask if Sheri can go on stage and tell the audience about something.
Like what?
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know?
Well, I haven't worked out the details yet.
How about I announce the New Year's Eve teen ski trip?
Oh, that awesome band.
I watched Tenet yesterday, and this plan made less sense than anything that happened in that movie. Like, why did they need an excuse for her to go talk on stage at this concert?
I don't know. More Christian concerts that I've been to than not, somebody gives some kind of talk about Christianity.
Yeah, that's the whole point.
Well, yeah, exactly. It's not weird. It's normal.
Her, the pastor, and her dad. The plan is that she's going to go up on stage and say she's not coming on the winter ski trip this year. I think that's what they settled on.
Yeah.
Very, very strange moments where they're trying to like. Well, it's just they're trying to like make this situation where it's still like taboo to talk about Christianity. Like I think what they're trying to do in that moment is like imply that the message that they're trying to spread is going to be like taboo and is going to be like discouraged by others. But you know, for one,
the locations they choose are a church and a Christian rock concert.
Right.
They're like, you can't talk about God.
Right.
You can't talk about faith in these places.
Right. It just, again, added to the very confusing style of this movie where it's like, where they just really tried to do everything, you know? And I'm happy with everything they did. Like every moment was like legitimately a delight, but a big challenge, even as we're having this discussion, I find like a big challenge in covering this movie is trying to pin it down. You can't pin it down. Like Greg is beyond the language of cinema that we all know, you know, like Greg's on another fucking level.
It's Tommy Wiseau. It's
oh yeah.
It kind of reminded me of that movie, A Serbian Film.
Wow.
In what way? Speak on that.
Not in content, but in just overall vibe.
Wow.
I loved it. It also reminded me of I Don't Know Who Killed Me.
The Lindsay Lohan?
I Know Who Killed Me.
The Lindsay Lohan movie?
I Know Who Killed
Yes.
Me. Yeah, great movie.
Yeah. It was similar to that in that it was like supernatural, but like who knows what it really means, like, you know.
You know, See Me Dance also could have been called I Know Who Killed Me.
Yeah.
And I Know Who Killed Me. If it was called See Me Dance, would have made just
more
as much sense. Yeah, totally.
I think the devil killed her. I think the devil like waited until I think her guard was down after she got her message out, and then the devil just kind of snuffed her out quietly under the Christmas tree.
You know what? I think you're right, but it's because she lost her focus by looking at the Christmas gift. She had Santa vision, and just for that split moment, it was just enough for the devil to swoop in.
And maybe it was Greg Robbins, like Twin Peaks. It was the dad.
Oh my God, it's Bob.
Yeah.
At the beginning of See Me Dance 2, it's like he looks in the mirror and it's the devil.
See Me Dance, Jesus Walk With Me. But yeah, I really like the theory that the devil is just an outward manifestation of Greg's own
the scariest movie you saw.
Yeah. Well, think about it. You know, she says that her father told her not to watch the scary movie with the man in the trench coat.
A couple of years ago, I watched a movie that my dad told me not to because he knew I would be afraid. Well, I watched it anyway, and I wish I hadn't. Because to this day, I'm terrified of men in black trench coats.
The man in the trench coat appears. Like, why could it not be like a symbol of like her father's influence over her in her life that's manifesting into this, like, you know, this new fragmentation? I don't know. Like this maybe, I think we're finally getting to like the hidden mystery of See Me Dance, because like only now is it starting
Number
to come
2
together.
is like the doctor re-examines the blood samples and she's like, wait, these aren't the blood samples of Sheri. These are the blood samples of a 75-year-old man. She didn't have leukemia at all.
I like it. Get Greg on the horn.
Get Greg on the horn. Greg, we're huge fans of your work. We have Boys Bible Study. Absolutely love and worship you. Please, let's collab.
Have any of these people interacted with the podcast?
No, not yet. Not yet.
Oh, okay.
I don't really like want them to necessarily. I hope everyone. I just, you know, it's just the whole thing. Like, listen, I love to talk about these movies. We all love to talk about these movies, but you know, I don't. And, you know, I genuinely think, like, you know, we might have critical things to say about these films, but I mean, like, I think I can speak for everyone when I say, like, we love this movie. Like, this is a good ass movie.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that's the thing.
I don't want to hurt his
like,
feelings.
You know, so I would hope, I guess my hope is that when we do finally one day, like, make contact with someone, I would understand if someone was offended by the criticisms we have. But like, Greg, if you're listening, like, we love this fucking movie. You're a genius. So please hit us up, hit the DMs. Let's collab. But I would say it might be a good time to give this the official Boys Bible Study rating, unless anyone had something we didn't get to that we wanted to add.
There was one moment that really stands out that there's no real reason to mention it other than it was powerful. Where it's the same part where the devil is the gym teacher or whatever, but the devil's like all of a sudden turns into her mom, and the mom's like, it's like in The Exorcist where the guy's grandma's like, help me, Jimmy, help me. But the mom's just like, I'm trapped in here. But instead of like being affected at all by it, Sheri just goes, yeah, right. Nice try, bitch. Like, and then like just like gets out of there.
Genius.
But it just like didn't faze her at all.
Yeah, she's too powerful for that.
She was really
She's got
powerful.
the bracho.
Yeah.
She's got the the Bracho yard stare. Was there another movie we watched where like somebody's young mom, the devil appeared as somebody's young mom and tried to fuck him? Does that ring any bells?
Oh, yeah.
Is that Heaven Quest?
Heaven's War.
Heaven's War.
Oh, yeah, great movie.
Very similar. Yeah, that whole movie's good. Yeah, there is a point where, he gets like seduced by like an evil spirit that like is pretending to be his like mom when she was young and hot. It's very strange. Very.
That
very
part.
Freudian.
Oh, that's so
I haven't thought
weird.
about that in a while.
Like
No.
Back to the Future?
Sort of, but like it's like he thinks he's in heaven, and then his hot mom, who's probably like a little younger than him, is like, we can do whatever you want in heaven. It's real pretty salacious. But the devil's very impatient as well, so they don't get very far.
Oh.
Yeah, I know.
Well, I would say then let's pick a rating. Let's give the official Boys Bible Study rating for See Me Dance, written and directed by Greg Robbins. What did we think of this film? So I guess I thought, despite it being like a bit of a confusing, imagistic, journey through different Christian themes, truly every moment a delight, not a scene wasted. Like this is a film you can watch with your friends, maybe bring some of them to Christ. Because I really think this is going to be a crowd favorite. Some of the movies we watch drag on, not this one. This is a pure banger from The Twisted Mind of Greg Robbins. I'm going to give this 1 out of 1 glowing chandelier, okay? Because when you watch this movie, I think at least something in your house is going to glow, okay? And it's going to be a symbol of Christ's love settling into your life.
Okay.
Beautiful.
Well, I found it to be just a whirlwind of supernatural influence and a great melange of styles and moods. And I give it 5 out of 5 30-year-old assaulting teenagers.
I thought it was all over the place in all the best ways. I'm going to give it 1 lollipop hanging from a Christmas tree. It's the only thing I can remember from this movie.
Did that happen?
Was that they had a lollipop hanging from the Christmas tree.
You know what? That actually goes with what he suggested in Christmas Unwrapped. He was really big about hanging food on the Christmas tree. He was like, hang up
the popcorn.
He was like, hang up
string.
popcorn, hang up gingerbread cookies. It would not surprise me if this man threw a couple lollipops on there as well. Go off, King.
Hot dogs.
Corn dogs. Yeah, like spray on cheese, just like sort of squirt a little bit around. Sick man.
Tortellini.
A very sick man.
I love this movie. It was just so powerful that I have to give it now mashtate.
The highest of praise.
Yeah, that's actually Latin for this was a really good movie. Many people do. Actually, that's Aramaic for a very good movie. Good job, Greg.
Or 2 thumbs into the palm of the executive of NBC.
Macy, thank you for taking the time and watching this with us. It was really nice to have you.
Thank you for showing me this movie.
I'm so glad you could watch it with us. What are you promoting right now? Anything you'd want to tell Boys Bible Study listeners about?
I mean, I'm still putting stuff on the Nymphowars Patreon. We don't have any like new main episodes right now, but I have a lot of like weird dream episodes that I'm posting and strange like fiction. And I have new music coming out later this year. So that's about it.
Big fan. I've been a dedicated Nymphowars Patreon subscriber since 2019. Yeah, since like 2019. Absolutely love the pod. Yeah, I like the new bonus episodes. Also, anyone listening, Boys Bible Study, who hasn't heard Nymphowars episodes yet, like really check them out. Actually, a lot of the like radio drama stuff that you all did has really inspired us as well. We did our first like radio drama at the end of last year, and it was really fun. So
cool.
Yeah, we did. We're starting to do some Bible story radio dramas, which are very Nymphowars core. So love that.
Oh, incredible.
And on the Boys Bible Study side of things, we would, of course, like to encourage anyone listening to check out our Patreon, patreon.com/Boys Bible Study. If you pledge $5 a month or more, you get access to our whole catalog of bonus episodes. We also make at least two new ones every month. So we're going to have plenty of content for you coming up. Also, we want to shout out our very special patrons at the $20 tier, our patron saints. As always, Nicole, Marissa, Russell, thank you so much. We also have a new name. We have a brand new saint to add to the tier. This is a very mysterious benefactor who tells me they go by the name Jeff Bezos. So we're now adding Jeff Bezos to the Boys Bible Study patron saints. Thank you so much, Jeff. If you're the real Jeff Bezos, please send us a very vague sext that will prove that it's you. Big fan of the Jeff Bezos leaked sexts. Our outro music is Oh My God by pop singer Mary. Please check out Mary on Bandcamp and Spotify. From all of us here at Boys Bible Study, myself, Ash, my co-hosts, Scott and Julian, and our special guest today, Macy Rodman, we would like to say, peace be with you.
And also with you.
Forgive me, Father, for I have sinned. I feel your love in me, it's coming from within. Oh my God, my devotion is so unwavering. Divine emotions when you enter me. Every day